We want to start shaping more ability to comply with just verbal directions, because right now we have kind of a safety risk where if we say things like stop there, there is no compliance with that. She's continuing to move potentially out into unsafe situations like into traffic, but also into things that are not very adaptive, like in front of people in public, or going through a doorway when others are trying to enter the doorway just because of some limited spatial awareness. And right now we're using a lot of proximity control, being close, so that we can help mitigate those unsafe situations, but building compliance to that verbal direction of, I need you to stop, I need you to slow down, I need you to move over to the side, are really important. And there is definitely awareness of what those directions mean. If we're doing trials where we're working on those, definitely she exhibits that she understands all of those demands. We just are not complying with any of them right now, at least not with just the simple verbal prompt. So we really want to start working on that. It's something we're working on in sessions, but it's important that we're working on it at home and in the community too, so that we can see better generalization of that skill, so that she's doing it with multiple caregivers and in all different settings. So we want to do that with some really simple, small tasks where there's no safety risk. We obviously don't want to work on this without that safety of being close by in somewhere like a parking lot. A great place to start working on it is at home. So we're walking through the dining room into the living room. We are going to move a little bit further away, so we're not right there where we're not close enough to give a physical prompt of stopping, and we're going to ask, please stop. If there's not compliance with that, because we don't want to allow escape from it, then we are going to move closer. We are going to help her stop where she is. We're going to move back to the position you were asked to stop. So if you asked to stop at the chair, she continued to walk all the way into the living room. We're going to then go to where she is, ask her to stop with that close proximity, which she will. And then we're going to say, okay, let's go back to where we were supposed to stop. Walk back to the chair, reinforce stopping at the chair. Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping. And then we're going to let her move on. And then the next time we see movement through the house, I need you to stop. Our goal would be that we'll have to do less and less of that, going back, redirecting, and doing that practice. It is very important that if we give that demand, that we don't just let her go. Even if it would be easier, even if we say, well, I asked her to stop in the hallway, I really didn't need her to. So much easier to not go and do that right now. That's going to make these verbal directives not as effective, because it's going to signal to her, this doesn't really matter if I listen. So we want to embed it across the day, making it a goal of doing it about 10 times a day. Just a simple stop, please. Really high reinforcement if it happens. Thank you so much for stopping. You did so awesome. You can even embed like a edible reinforcer, like, you did so great, thank you so much for stopping, here's a piece of chocolate. Or we can just do that really high specific praise, thank you so much, you did so awesome, high five or high five. So we're gonna say stop. Our goal is that that is happening without any other prompting from us. If it isn't listened to, then we're gonna move to where she is, prompt stop with us being close by, ask to move back to the original place we said stop, say thank you so much for stopping here, now you can go. So there's the reinforcement that she gets to continue, and she gets that specific praise, so that we can start building that. And then as that becomes that it's happening 100% of the time, then we can start doing it in the community. We're going to ask stop here in this store. We don't want to put it at places where there's not a lot of likelihood of compliance. So if we're getting ready to go through the the doorway to go into the pool area at the Y. That's a place that she's always moving through and really, really reinforced by getting to the pool. So we're not really setting things up for success in that way. It would be a bad place to do it just because there would have to be so much redirection to come back. So we want to do it in places that there's going to be good likelihood of stopping right now so that we can shape the behavior, and then we can build in more and more challenges. The final place doing it, still having close proximity control, places like stop next to the car, things like that. But we don't want to test out where there's any, likelihood of a severe safety risk, like being in front of moving cars in a parking lot, being where, pushing into people and causing some challenges in the community.